The former two-time UFC heavyweight champ has definitely made a lot of money doing what he loves, and with all that money comes a crazy rich spending lifestyle that most people would envy. Currently, he has a net worth of $4 million. Now, the majority of his enormous wealth has come from his total dominance in the mixed martial arts discipline. In the fighting circles, he's obviously a well-known name. With 2 UFC heavyweight titles, Velasquez is essentially a force to reckon with, literally and figuratively. Hand-to-hand combat sports like MMA and boxing require their participants to risk their lives, all for the sake of glory, fame, and dollar bills. And Cain is no exception. He's one of those fighters who'll put in everything they have when they're in the zone. Much of that has to do with how he grew up and what his early life was like. He was born in 1982 in Salinas, California, to Efrain and Isabel Velasquez. Now, his father had come to the United States as an illegal immigrant from Sonora, Mexico. But he soon met his partner Isabel, who was living in America at the time. The two began dating and shortly after decided to get married. And the marriage then helped Efrain become a legitimate citizen of the United States. The happy couple ultimately had 3 children, Efrain Jr., Adela, and Cain. Growing up, it looks like wrestling was a part of Cain's DNA. He went to Kofa High School, where he spent 4 years as part of the wrestling team, and even twice won the 5A Arizona Wrestling Championship. Interestingly, Velasquez also played football for 3 years in high school. He was made captain of both the football and wrestling teams as a senior. Honestly, how in the world did he have time to not only excel in 2 sports, but also captain their team so well? After high school, he was off to Arizona State University to wrestle for the Sun Devils for 3 seasons. He managed to finish 5th in the nation in 2005 and got even better the next year, finishing 4th in 2006. And it wasn't all just wrestling in university. He also managed to get a college degree in interdisciplinary studies. Clearly, the man had already set the bar high for himself, like really high. Following his graduation, the former mixed martial artist started training at the American Kickboxing Academy. He finally debuted his kick-ass mixed martial arts skills in 2006 and defeated Essie Fuyarzik in the very first round via TKO. He then went on to beat Jeremiah Constant, who was unbeatable at the time. In 2008, he faced Brad Morris, who was also beaten via TKO in the first round. Sounds like an impressive series of wins, right? Well, it gets even better. His impressive victory against Jake O'Brien at UFC Fight Night in 2014 earned him a rematch against the ongoing UFC heavyweight champion at the time.
In this day and age, as far as social media, what people say constantly, and that's the feedback that I get from them.
The infamous Brock Lesnar. And boy, was that a match to watch. Velasquez almost ripped out his rotator cuff, but things eventually started to go downhill a little. From 2015 to 2019, his career went on a downward spiral with losses against Fabricio Werdum and Francis Ngannou. And despite the loss to Ngannou, Velasquez still made $450,000. The former MMA artist then decided to retire from the sport in 2019. But it wasn't before he made history. He became the first major Mexican-American heavyweight champion in MMA. And with so much history in the making, Cain Velasquez did not completely retire. Although he was fully done with the MMA, that same year he decided to embark on a professional wrestling career. He started with a multi-match deal with the Mexican professional wrestling promotion Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide as a heavyweight competitor. He then moved on to the American WWE promotion, but in 2020, things took a turn for the worse. Due to the ongoing pandemic and resulting budget cuts, he was released from his WWE contract, which sounds like a pretty harsh blow to him. Now, that illustrious career definitely brought in a big hunk of change. And like most men, Cain went on to spend that money in a way only the uber-rich can think of. The man has an impressive car collection that's probably made his neighbors quite envious. From the Ford F-150 to the Porsche Macan GTS, Cain has been able to amass quite the range. The massive carbon fiber ring and the bronze Savini wheels on his 2018 Polaris Slingshot would make it anything but understated. It's got a futuristic design with the plushest interior, and I'm a big fan of this beast. Originally bought for a cool $23,000, this is definitely a showstopper in Cain's fancy garage. Now, if you were thinking about a career in the UFC, let me tell you, there's plenty of benefits to being a former heavyweight champion.
Rules entail what that this is a legitimate sport, that it will get popular.
A brand new 2012 Camaro 2SS was given, yes, given, to Velasquez at the time he beat Brock Lesnar. Priced at $26,000, this baby goes from 0 to 60 in merely 3.5 seconds. Talk about going lightning fast. Speaking of fast, the four-door Ford F-150 SVT Raptor may not be the fastest car in his garage, but it certainly has the power to match. The Ford F-150, which costs nearly $43,000, is powered by a 6.2-liter V6 engine that does a lot of the heavy lifting. The Ford F-150 may be all about utility, but when Cain wants to have some fun, it's time to take out the stunning 1971 Ford Torino Cobra. Now, Ford was an integral part of Velasquez's childhood, and this 1971 Torino Cobra definitely holds a special place in the MMA fighter's heart. He claims that growing up, a lot of the work cars they used were all Fords, so it influenced him to get one for himself, too. As for the 1971 Torino, he first noted the body's form, which was very distinctive for the year as it resembled a Coke bottle. Pretty cool, huh? And it's not the only car he chooses to have fun in. He's also got the 1973 Porsche 911, which he claims is just as enjoyable to drive on the road as it is on the circuit. Yep, the 40-year-old has converted his 1973 Porsche into a specialized racing vehicle. He called it a no-brainer, just something he had to do. In addition to the fancy cars he's accumulated, Cain Velasquez has also been featured on a number of shows. He appeared on Univision and Telemundo as a guest star in several Spanish-language shows. Not gonna lie, that sounds really fun. I'm definitely looking up those appearances. He also was featured as a special guest on Lopez Tonight, along with being a part of Wisin and Yandel's music video Te Siento. Maybe we should take a chapter out of Cain's book, since he's been successful at setting up multiple income streams. Those income streams also extend to the world of real estate. Velasquez and his wife Michelle, whom he married in 2011, put up their 5,100 square foot massive estate in Gilroy, California on the market for the whopping price tag of $1.7 million. The original house was constructed in 1999 and spans more than 2 acres of land. It comes with detailed archways and raised ceilings. The single-story floor plan also comes with a fully equipped chef's kitchen and an office, along with 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Jeez, that's a lot of space for a small family. Although the asking price was reduced after a month, it still made him a lot of money. Well, that was how Cain Velasquez chose to spend all his hard-earned money. So if you're ever thinking about a career in the UFC, now's the time. See you in the following video.